Well, hello there, everyone. How you doing on this marvelous Monday, April the 10th, 2023? Hopefully you're having a great start to your week, no matter if you're retired like I am, or if you're working or on vacation. So before I get started, a shout out to a guy I met last night. I met a couple people last night, went on our nightly walk. So Nick, thanks for subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate it. So with that being said, welcome to all new subscribers. And what I'm going to talk about today is how to basically get started to be an investor, okay? And this works if you want to invest in stocks, real estate, or something else, because I invest in a variety of different things. So before we get started, I am Mazske Finance. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. And I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor. And the reason I say that, I'm going to try to start out a lot of my videos with a little health tidbit. Because I do still have this CGM on, this continuous glucose monitor. It has not expired or come off yet. So I'm in the middle of towards the end of a challenge, a 5-day challenge, using this from the Zoe Foundation. And what you had to do for 5 days, you pick a grain and you pick a protein. And each of the 5 days you do something different. One day you eat just a grain. I chose oatmeal because I eat oatmeal every day. So I had just oatmeal by itself. The next day I had just the protein by itself. And I chose almonds because I eat a lot of nuts every day. But that was more almonds than I've ever eaten at one time, I think. That was the second day. Third day was oatmeal and the almonds, kind of like same time, bite of oatmeal, at the same time. Today was the first time doing exercise after eating it, okay? What I have found ever since I've had this CGM on, and I'm into my second week now, is that my morning bowl of oatmeal, a lot of times I put a banana in it, I put a variety of berries in it, and seeds, and some other stuff, that my blood glucose will spike up, like everyone's does when you eat certain foods, especially sweet stuff, but also foods like oatmeal, white rice, bananas, they're glycemic, high glycemic or something like that. Different foods are, potatoes might be. But my glucose would go up to, say, pushing towards 150, okay? And then it would start coming back down. But when it spiked up, when it came down, it might come down stabilized, kind of like an oil peak. Oil comes out a lot and it comes down, then it starts stabilizing. It would come down, start stabilizing, say 120-ish as the day was progressing. And I might eat something to bring it up to 125, 130, come down 115, and so on and so on. And for what I know, that's normal, okay? But the goal, if you want to live a long, long, long time, is to minimize the big spikes. Kind of have a more level blood sugar as the day goes on. Because all of us, when the doctor checks you in the morning after fasting, that's after not eating for 8 or 9 or 10 hours, whatever it may be, okay? And then once you're under 100, once you get up and not even take your first bite of food, by getting up, a lot of times your glucose will increase, what I have experienced. And once you eat something, it goes up also. What you don't want to do is go high, like above maybe 160, 170, 180, whatever that, different doctors say different numbers, okay? So what I did this morning was I exercised for 30 minutes after eating the oatmeal. So I ate the bowl of oatmeal, and I put my walking clothes on, not these, and went outside and did basically a 30-minute walk around the neighborhood, a brisk walk where I'm breathing a little heavier, not out of breath, but, just elevated my heart rate a little bit. 30 minutes. I normally do this walk in the evening. I'll probably do it morning and evening now. So then what I found was I never spiked. My blood glucose had started to increase. I forget what it got up to. It might have got up to 120-ish. And I think as soon as I started walking, it kind of leveled off and then went down. And it didn't go down low, but it just leveled off at like the 105 mark and just kind of stayed level, okay? I did just eat berries and nuts, because I did 3 hours without eating anything after the oatmeal unchecked, and my blood sugar had just gone down low for the entire 3 hours, okay? So walking, cardio exercise can reduce spikes. So if you go get an ice cream cone, you eat chocolates, or whatever might spike you, we're all different, okay? I do eat a piece of dark chocolate every day, and it doesn't spike me at all. But I only eat one piece, one square. But high cacao, like 86%, 92% high cacao. It's good for us, okay? So I am going to do a test again with ice cream later this week. I tested ice cream last week. Ice cream does spike me up. Not like I'm not diabetic at all. I'm just a normal person, right? But it spiked me up to 150, and it took a while to come down. When it did come down, it came down a little harder than it normally does. So ice cream is very high in sugar, and I used to eat a ton of ice cream before. Okay, so I'm sorry if I digressed and took too long there. But moving on, how do you get started investing? All right, how do you get started investing? And what I encourage you to do, just backing up real quick, if you eat something sweet, go exercise. Okay, if you eat white rice, oatmeal, take a walk. Okay, so with that being said, how do you get started investing? If you want to be an investor, the first thing you need to know how to do, and I got a call coming in, it's blocking my face, so I'm kind of ducking down a little bit. But then, you want to be an investor, you need to first learn how to be frugal. You need to learn how to save money. Live below your means, not spend everything you get. Okay? How do you do that? You cut expenses. I'm not going to talk to you about how to cut expenses, but you cut expenses. If you use credit cards, you never go into debt, you never pay interest. If you have credit card debt, you work on paying it down. Okay? I encourage you, if you get savings, put it in a higher savings account, such as Wealthfront. 4.3% or 4.8% if someone refers you. Ally might give you 3.75%, and other banks will give you somewhere in that range, somewhere. Okay? But then if you want to become a stock investor, I encourage you to go to a site like The Motley Fool and learn about investing in stocks. Okay? Individual stocks will beat index funds. I did it hands down. My returns on stock investing beat index funds. I did it for 20 years or roughly. Okay? But hands down, in my humble opinion, real estate will beat stocks. Okay? I had an 18% annualized return for 15 years with stocks. Real estate is what has exploded my wealth compared to what stocks. Because stocks is my money. I put it in, it's my money. With real estate, sure, I put a little bit of money in, but it's other people's money. It's the bank's money. It's a private lender's money. It's somebody else's money. It's a seller financing. It's their money. Okay, it's someone else's money. And then when I get my rent, the rent pays the mortgage. It pays the principal, the interest, the taxes, the insurance. And as I always say, you hold out money for expenses. Hold out money for vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. Take your rent, multiply it by 20%. Okay, vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. Hold out money for a property manager and say that's 10%. So 10% plus 20% is 30%. Take the total rent for the month, multiply it by 30%, whatever that figure is, take it out, put it aside. When you get it, put it in the bank, save it, because you will have repairs, you will have capital expenditures, and you will have your rental unit become vacant. Okay? So more important than all that, though, is up here. Just like I talk about being healthy, if you want to be an investor, it's up here. You gotta want it. You gotta be willing to persevere. You gotta be willing to stick with it. You will, I will say this again, you will have tough times. You will have to do an eviction at some point. You will have a major repair, such as putting a new roof on a house or a new furnace or new windows, maybe all at the same time. You will experience these things. You will spend more than what you think you'll spend on some rehab. You may think a rehab is going to be $20,000 and it costs you $40,000. Guarantee you these things will happen when you become a real estate investor. Now, hopefully they don't happen on the first day, okay? Because that might sour you on real estate investing. But prepare your mind for the worst to happen. And if it takes 10 years, enjoy it. Keep saving up your money. Keep adding to your real estate portfolio. Okay? I have a playlist if you're new to my channel. 0 to 25 rentals in 4 years. I did not have a lot of money when I started. I didn't use a lot of money out of my pocket to get started with real estate investing. But I was in a unique situation. I did have a paid off primary residence, and I did have a very small HELOC that helped me. But watch that playlist, 0 to 25 rentals, and I will explain basically how I bought every single house. From using a HELOC a couple times, using a 401k loan once to do a successful BRRRR strategy, using seller financing for 9 different houses, I've talked about buying off the MLS. I talked about buying from contacts that I have, buying from an individual, buying from a turnkey company. The only thing I haven't done yet, I have used hard money to buy a property. I've done 3 or 4 or 5 BRRRR strategy, buy, rehab, refinance, right, whatever. It's the B and the 4 R's. I've done that like 4 or 5 times where I bought a house, rehabbed it, and then rented it and attempted to refinance. I wasn't always successful in refinancing it. Okay. I have fallen on hard times where my money got really, really tight because I wasn't properly prepared and didn't have quite enough reserves saved up. I've learned from that. My problem is, as an investor, as I get money in, it burns a hole in my pocket. Not that I'm going to go out and buy a new car, not that I'm going to go out and buy a boat. It burns a hole in my pocket. I want to go buy another investment. Okay? But I am buying, as you know, if you watch my channel, I am buying mineral rights acreage and I have investment in oil drilling. What this does is gives me positive cash flow every month without the expenses. This is what has helped me to pull through when my rentals fell on hard times. Okay? My rentals have stabilized now. And as I told the missus, I think when we get rent later this month, this may be my best month ever for collecting rent. I think it will be, unless there's some major repair that comes up in the next 2 to 3 weeks before the month's over. So we shall see. But if you want to get started as an investor, you have to educate yourself. All right. I didn't say this before, I don't think, but you got to find your market to invest in. Okay. Try not to be too scattered about in all these different markets. Focus on one and learn it. Then maybe branch out into a different one. That's what I've done. I learned one, I branched out into a different market, okay? Because I had reasons for doing that. But study your market. Learn what an average rental quality house sells for, and then try to get it at a better price. Don't be scared to make an offer. Don't be scared to make an offer. It's like my house right here. Asking price of my house right here is $949,000. Being a real estate investor, if I wanted to buy a house like this and I was moving here, I wouldn't hesitate to offer me something lower, maybe $100,000 lower. It doesn't mean I'll accept it. It doesn't mean any seller will accept it, but they might. And I'm talking $100,000 lower because I'm on a house that's almost $1 million. If you're trying to buy a house that they normally sell for $75,000, but you know it needs just a little bit of work, and you want it to be a rental, and you want the positivity cash flow, could you offer $45,000, $50,000, $55,000, $60,000? If you offer something, they might counter, but they might accept. My second rental house I bought, I made an offer $13,000 below asking price. And when I told the real estate agent to make this offer, she called the person because she knew who the person was. And within 5 minutes, she was calling me back saying she accepts. And I was like, oh man, I should have offered less because she accepted so fast. And if I had offered less, she might have accepted. I could have gotten an even better deal. It was a very good deal for me, but I could have gotten a better deal. So I learned from that. Always offer less. You know, what's the worst thing can happen? They come back and they counter at something, or they just say, no, we don't accept. Okay, if you really want it and you've run your numbers and you know you can pay more, well, pay more if you have to. Just don't overpay. Okay? And sometimes even if you're spinning your wheels and you haven't bought your first one, but you got the money, sometimes it's okay just to jump in and buy a good deal for your first time. Doesn't have to be the great deal, the killer deal. Just get your feet in the water, get the skin in the game, get that first one. And sure, if it's a good deal, over time as rents go up, it will become a great deal. It just takes time. Everything takes time. So if you get rental property, the longer you hold on, it will always get better. You ride out the storm and it will get better. So hold on. Hold on for the fun ride, because life is fun. Life is here to be lived. Life is here to be an investor. Life is here to stay healthy so you live a long, long, productive, positive life. So with that being said, Mazske signing out. Have a great day. See ya.